Hey everyone, it's Adele and April from Just Say Scrap, and we are here with Technique Tuesday. So today we're bringing you a technique that we may have done in the past. I'm not sure. We would have to really research our archives. But I know we've used it before, but I don't think we've used it specifically for it. We are going to be playing with some craft paper. So there's so many different things that you can do with craft paper, so make sure you watch our video, see what we do. Alright guys, so if my memory serves me correct, this is not a repeat Technique Tuesday, but we just wanted to show you how amazing our craft paper is. We've definitely worked with it in the past, but I don't think that we've really shown its full potential. And we also get inspired sometimes by our catalogs. So, do you see how beautiful these cards are with white embossing and using our markers and all those kind of things? They are just absolutely gorgeous. Our shimmer sprays, like everything like that. So we wanted to show you how you can do this, because our craft paper is something that's kind of just put to the side and not used a lot, but we really want to show you how to use it and make it awesome. So we've got some of our scraps here. We also have some of our new stamps that we were going to play with, and I have my Versamat again. Retrieved that from my parents' house. So we are going to start off with this small piece of craft first, and our Happy Mail stamp. This is a adorable stamp, absolutely adorable. And I just really think it's cute because it says handmade, special delivery, with like a little tag and everything. So I'm actually going to do the handmade part of this. Oh, they're two different stamps. I love that. We're going to do it in one though. So I'm going to grab in our 2 by 3.5 inch acrylic block, just kind of letting that fall by itself, putting it onto that, and then we're gonna get the handmade in the center, just like that. All right, we gotta season this up. And to emboss, we've got to use our Versamark ink. So remember, our Versamark is kind of sticky. And before we use this, I also have a little tray that we like to use our embossing powder on. I'm using my white. And before I do any of that, I also have to just make sure that our craft tool, or our craft heater, is set up. Heat tool. It's changed its name so many times over the years. It's one of those. So I'm just going to make sure that this is plugged in. Remember, this does get super, super hot, so you don't want to be doing this where you're gonna melt something. You can actually heat right on to our all-purpose mat, which I'll show you. You do not want to, however, heat on top of the Versamat. That needs to be moved all the way to the side and out of the way. So here we go. All right, so you see there, we heated that up, and how cute is that? How amazing would this be if you make something for somebody and you just throw this in there as a tag? And I'm gonna show you how we can embellish it a little bit more as well, but isn't that just adorable? So our next thing, this is now really, really hot, just be aware. So you wanna let it cool off a little before you put your Versamat back on it, because like we said, it can be melted, which we do not want. But I'm going to stamp a few of these little flowers because they're so pretty. And let me take a 2 by 2 block. Those were a smaller surface, but also since the heat tool had been heated longer, it was already hot. So unlike this one, it had to become hot. It was already hot for this one. So that really melted it really, really fast. But isn't that just absolutely beautiful? And I love how these two flowers, when you stamp them differently, it made it symmetrical on either side. So that's another thing. And then our last stamp we're gonna play with is gonna be this one. So let me see. I'm gonna use thank you. I think it's cute. I mean, I love, love, love this stamp. This is our Flourished Greetings stamp, brand new as well. And with this, we can actually layer it with our Flourished layers, which I love. So I'm going to put this to the side. And that was a little fun. Flip. I'm going to take this one up here. I just think it's beautiful. It's just so much fun. We're gonna layer these into each other as well. And the reason I'm layering everything into itself on this project is because when we're doing these, let's see if it fits in a 3x3. I might need to go a step up. Oh, nope, fits on a 3x3. The reason that I'm layering these is because, if I can layer this, I might not be able to. No, I might have to do this one separately. We're embossing it and stamping it in the same ink. So if I can layer it, why not layer it? That's kind of how I see it. That's on a 3x3, this is on a 2x2. And let's bring this in. So never, ever, ever use your Versamat or something to eat hot food on. I was eating hot food the other day. I had some soup and it starts to warp. So if you get it off really quick and you put something like heavy and flat on it, it will flatten back out. But just leave it so you don't have to do that. It's a lot easier if you just do that. All right, so I'm going to do, the flourish like that. You can always do the flourish after you stamp the word, but I'm feeling daring. And this is a scrap piece of my Kraft, so I will be cutting it down to size when I need to. I also love how you can see the ink so clearly on the Kraft. It makes it so easy to use. All right. And the Versamat does stay wet a little bit longer, but you still want to get that embossing powder on it ASAP, just so it doesn't dry. And Kraft is actually, it's very easy to come off of. If you're using other color paper, sometimes using your anti-static pouch really helps putting that on the paper before you stamp. It will help prevent anything from sticking to your paper, like the extra powder or anything like that. And there you go. How absolutely beautiful is that? All right, so I'm gonna let this cool down for a few seconds and then we're gonna show you a little bit more. So you can see we do have our 4 different color embossing powders. We have our clear, our white, princess gold, and silver, and our heat tool with our Versamark right here. To clean the Versamark, you can always just use a stamp chamois, which if you haven't seen, let me find it in here. We have a brand new chamois case, which I love. You can always use some Spritz Cleaner water or your chamois. So you can clean these just like you would a regular stamp. I sometimes use my Spritz Cleaner and a chamois, just because it makes it easier sometimes. My chamois is a little sad little thing right now. But you can kind of use both. I can always go get this wet with water. All right, so some fun things that we can do with our Kraft paper here. Clearly we embossed it already. We can also use our white gel pens to create designs as well. So we could do fun designs on this along with our stamps to make everything even more full of a design. So I'm just adding some of our white gel pens to this to complete a little bit of a design here. So doesn't that look super cute, which can be used on a page? So we've got our white gel pens. We also have our Shinhan markers, which I absolutely love. We haven't gotten our jelly pens in, our jelly roll pens, which once we get those, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how much fun I'm going to have playing with these. But we also have our Le pens as well. So these are gel pens, which I love. Super excited about those. Let me grab out our Shinhans. I'm actually gonna use the thank you with the Shinhans. And what's nice is you can kind of test the excess over here, see how color will show up on the craft paper. I always like to test them before I do anything. You can always color before or after you do this, but I'm basically just gonna go and I'm gonna follow like the dots or whatever of this thank you and just give it a little bit of color as we go on. So you can see there, you can just kind of play with it and add your own little pizzazz to your already embossed thing on the craft. So that's another fun thing. And then our last one, I'm gonna take our handmade, I'm gonna move away our Versamat and everything else just to make sure that it doesn't get splashed, so it's not in the splash zone here. And I'm going to take our, I think I'm gonna take our turquoise. So we've got our turquoise glitter or gloss spray here. We do have glitter spray, which I don't have in yet, but we're gonna shake this up. And remember, because this is permanent, we do want to use it on a Versa or an all-purpose mat here. But let me just show you what it will look like. So I'm just gonna rip a piece of that extra off so you can kind of see what it's gonna look like when we spray it. This is also gonna be my tester. So we can kind of, I know this is a smaller space, but we can kind of test and see what that looks like. So we can also actually take it on here and tap it into it. And it kind of bobs, but it's cool. So we're gonna just wipe that off. I think I want it a little less intense. So what I'm gonna do is, because I don't really want to ruin the handmade, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wipe this off like usual. I'm gonna put my cap back on. I'm gonna just undo it. And we're just gonna kind of tap a little and just get some light sprays on the background. Just like that. I hope I was in the camera enough for you to see that. Just get a little bit of spray. I think I'm gonna do the same thing now with the gilt. Just add a little itty bit of color. And it just spruces it up just enough where it looks awesome. So I'm going to also just take my thing. I got a little much there by the A, but if I just soak that up, see how that disappeared? I'm gonna put this off to the side to dry. And our last thing, which I really love on craft paper, and I don't think I've actually ever used this before either. So I'm gonna take our last scrap piece. I'm gonna stay on our all-purpose mat here. I'm gonna grab in our texture tool and I'm gonna pull in our, which one is this one? This is Solar Flare. So I'm gonna grab in our Solar Flare. I have it wrapped up in cellophane because I didn't want it drying out when I don't use it. So I'm gonna keep that like that. Open this up. I use this one a lot. And just I want to show you how beautiful this comes out on craft paper. Can we just really appreciate that for a second? Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Oh, I love it. Our craft just has a whole different look. I think craft paper is the creme de la creme. Don't want to contaminate it, so remember I'm going to grab another one of my palette knives here. But my favorite thing is to take this, take some of our Stickles glitter gels and mix them together. And this on the craft, oh, it looks so pretty. If you've ever seen our store before, all of our samples of our, well, a lot of our samples of our texture paste are on craft paper. They just look so good. So we can just put that all onto our craft. And doesn't that just look amazing? I love it. Absolutely love how that looks. Sorry, I can't let any go to waste. I'm gonna put it all in this craft paper. Then I'm gonna find something to do with this for Throw It Together Thursday. So, doesn't that look awesome? But there you have it. There's our craft paper. Why we don't use this more often, I don't know. But we have so many awesome tools, so that's why I don't use it as often. But just wanted to show you a little bit more about our craft paper. And that's Technique Tuesday. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please let us know in the comments below. But just how cute are these? Whoops,
They're very cute.
It's so cute. So there's so many things that you can do with Kraft. I know that we've like heat embossed on them before, I think, and done a few things. Texture paste is definitely a great thing for them to make samples and everything like that. But craft paper is something that we always have and you just never think to use. So it is thicker. Well, it's not necessarily thicker. It's got a different feel than our regular paper. The other thing I actually specifically wanted to say about this one is you might be thinking, oh, well, why don't you do like the speckles before you emboss it? You cannot heat emboss, remember, gloss spray. It is like a metallic-y, like a plastic. So if you are going to be using the gloss spray, I forgot to say it during it, do not heat it. You can always like do this kind of a shimmer with like shimmer brushes, and then you can heat emboss on it. But if you're going to be using the gloss spray specifically to kind of flick color on it, do not use your craft tool to heat it because it will cause issues. So, but that's it. That's Technique Tuesday. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye. Strawberry and whites. Well, don't put me by the fire. I move it up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Ooh.